Good evening, YouTubers. It appears that I finally have been tagged. Thankfully not bagged and tagged, but I have been tagged by Jones S and Strife07. So thanks, folks. Cheers. No, I mean it. It's actually quite a pleasure, and I don't mind sharing a few interesting facts about myself with you all. I guess this thing's a bit like the there's a virus going around the UK at the moment called the norovirus. It's also known as a winter vomiting virus, and it is rather unpleasant, I can tell you. I've had it several times before, usually once a year. I think I had it back in October, so I think I'm pretty much immune now, but my daughter had it this week, and well, I won't go into the details for you, you don't want to know. But I guess this tagging thing's a bit like that, isn't it? But without the mess. Rather more enjoyable. So anyway, I'm all for this tagging disease going around. Those of you who've been watching my videos over the past year will realise that I enjoy cycling. And it's one of my aims in life to cycle from Land's End in Cornwall to John O'Groats up in Scotland. But being a full-time dad with 2 kids and married, I don't really have the time to go swanning off, taking 3 weeks here and there to cycle across the country. So I'm doing it in stages. And last year I cycled from Wells in Somerset to Land's End in Cornwall. And it was rather stupid, really, because I picked the wettest summer on record to do it. And I cycled against the prevailing wind, which was often about 30 miles an hour in my direction. And it was some very hilly terrain with absolutely no training whatsoever. Not something I would recommend, really, but I did somewhat surprisingly enjoy it, so much so that I'm going to cycle again this year, about the end of May, from Wells, again in Somerset, to Gretna in Scotland. Those of you who know Gretna Green is famous for people getting married, I think. So that's my plan. So cycling, I enjoy cycling. When I was a young lad, I used to imagine that I was the emperor of one of the world's great powers, in fact the world's greatest power, and the epicenter of my sprawling empire, which covered 1/3 of the globe, I'll have you know, rivaled only by the British Empire in the 19th century. The epicenter of my empire was the Canary Islands in the Atlantic Ocean, you know, those small islands just off the coast of Africa. Yeah. Now I don't imagine it, I know I am. I am the leader of the Canary Islands, and really you ought to all be paying homage to me, or I'm just going to nuke you. When I was 7, I lived in Africa, in Nigeria. My parents were missionaries out there, and I went to an expatriate school in the city of Jos, and one of the things we did at school was physical education, PE, and one of the things we learned in PE was hockey. And we had a teacher called Ms. Brower, and if she's watching this, which I very much doubt, hi, Miss Brower is famous in my own life for being the only teacher ever to have hit me. And not just to have hit me, but hit me in the head with a hockey stick. Now I have to say I was rather a good child at school, and I never did anything wrong. But on this occasion I wasn't doing anything wrong. And it wasn't in punishment for anything. Basically she was teaching us how to play hockey, and she told us that we should never raise our hockey sticks above waist level, and as such I thought the safest place to stand when she was demonstrating how to score a goal was right behind, to the left slightly. But then thwack, I got belted in the head with this hockey stick, and you can probably just see the scar there if you look really closely. It's just 4 stitches. There's blood everywhere. Thought you might like to know that. I love dogs, and if I wasn't married, I would have a dog. Now that sounds absolutely terrible. That's not what I mean. My wife doesn't like dogs. They say the opposites attract. So yeah, one of the things I promised to do when I got married was forsake all mammals. So dogs are out until such time as I have acres of land that I can keep my dog outside all the time. But I used to have a dog. His name was Wellesley, and I gave him a middle name Dogmatics because one of my favourite cartoons was the Asterix cartoons. There's a little dog in the Asterix cartoons called Dogmatics. So my dog was called Wellesley. He was the thickest dog ever to walk the planet. Would never do what you told him to do. Well, perhaps that made him the most intelligent. I don't know. He shed hairs like there was no tomorrow. I don't quite know how he managed to grow his hair so fast. And he lived, probably just purely to spite us, to the ripe old age of 18, at which point he promptly went senile and we had to put him down. Let me tell you, that wasn't pleasant, but we had to do it for his own sake. It wasn't fair on him. But yeah, I like dogs. Last thing, one of my hobbies is researching my family history. I've managed to trace my family name back through my great grandfather, who was a man named John Weeks. He was a blacksmith who lived in the parish of Wick and Abson near Bristol. Beyond that, I've lost track of them. I don't know what my family did. But it's a very fascinating process, and you can spend lots of money and far too much time doing it. But it does reveal some interesting things. There's a hint of a scandal somewhere in my family. I might be related to nobility, somewhat illegitimately it might be said. I think I had an ancestor who fought in the Battle of Trafalgar on the Polyphemus, and I might possibly be related to John Overend, who was the founder of Overend, Gurney & Co., the bank which collapsed in 1860 in London with mega losses. I think it was called Black Friday. So there you go. 5 interesting, or perhaps not so interesting, facts about yours truly. Now, I guess the other thing I've got to do is nominate 5 people, so I'm going to nominate 5 people here. I can't nominate Alamo11, which I'd love to do, because he's already been nominated. His video is hilarious, by the way. So I'll nominate someone he knows very well, bIindjake. bIindjake, for those of you who don't understand my American accent. Nominate Crazy White Guy as well, AllieCaulfield, KelsoFabulous, and the vinerhyme. And I haven't forgotten this the vinerhyme to do some writing for you in your website. Well, till then, look forward to hearing your videos, guys, and consider yourself sneezed upon and tagged. Bye.
Yes, so